Hey, talking like math and history, and we're gonna measure the circumference of a circle. So in the last episode, we were learning a lot about the area of a circle and learning about how to put these merit badges on the sash. But we're gonna learn about the circumference. So instead of measuring what's inside the circle or inside the merit badge, we're gonna measure what the circumference is, aka the perimeter of the circle. So we're gonna be measuring how long is the circumference of the circle. If you were using another shape, like basic shapes, like a square or a rectangle, or like a hexagon, or an octagon, you wouldn't really be using the word circumference because the phrase cir, as in circle. So instead of calling it that, we call it the perimeter. To simplify things, we're gonna say, what is the perimeter of this merit badge? Well, there's a formula that we're gonna be taking a look at. The formula is the circumference of any kind of circle is going to equal pi multiply that by the diameter. If you are in advanced mathematics and you want to find the formula that was original, in its original form, it would be the circumference equals 2 pi radius. We're going to understand how to solve it and why it was changed from this form to that form. So, we already learned that pi represents 3.14 in the last video. But we're going to learn about the radius and the diameter. They are two different things of a circle. So if we draw that circle, we're going to put a dot in the middle, because we're going to be needing that. Let's start with the diameter of the circle. So the diameter is going to represent a line that stretches from one end of the circle to the other end of the circle. So it's going to stretch from left to right. So we're going to measure the diameter from here to there as its full length. This is an example of the diameter. That was an awesome video from Despicable Me. The thing that they cut with was a diameter of a circle, and that light was the circumference. So remember, the diameter is stretching from one point of the circle to the other point. The radius, however, is a little bit different. The radius is going to stretch only half the size of the diameter. So one point of the circle to the middle of the circle. Here's an example of the radius.
Give us your garbage, or you're the one who'll be trashed!
Oh, yeah, well, you're just... Fight!
So that was an example from SpongeBob, where Patrick was swinging the robot around like a radius of a circle. Actually, that can happen. The radius is not always fixed in one spot. You can always swing it around. It will always stay as a radius. So now we know what the diameter and the radius is. Let's start solving the circumference of this merit badge right here. This one is wood carving. I got that from summer camp last week. So, if you measure the badge from here to there, it's going to measure 3.75 centimeters in diameter. The only thing we gotta do to find the circumference is multiply 3.75 times 3.14, or as in pi. If you use a calculator, you'll want to use the number 3.14 because it's easier to calculate. If you do pi, then your answer is going to be over-accurate, and it's hard to even calculate the answer, because pi is an irrational number, which keeps going forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. So, let's do it. So, 3.14, multiply that by 3.75. We got 11.775. 11.775 centimeters. So, the circumference of the wood carving merit badge is 11.775 centimeters. If you stretch the circumference out to be a straight line of this, then it would stretch out 11.775 centimeters long. We found out the circumference, but there's another question that we want to find out is, why did schools want to put this formula up to a more simpler formula? Well, in the earlier part of the video, we said that the radius is half the size of the diameter, right? So, it means that we have a radius and we have the number 2. The number 2 is indicating that we have 2 radiuses instead. So, if the radius is only half the diameter, we have to have another radius to fulfill the requirements and the length to match the diameter. That is why we have 2 pi r, because that 2 is the same thing as saying the diameter. 2 radiuses is going to equal to 1 diameter, if the dimensions of the circle were the same. And that is how we understand the circumference. I hope this video has helped you understand the circumference of the circle. Thank you for watching Top Penguin Lines Math History. Like and subscribe. And before we end this video, we're gonna tell you guys and Gales a cool fact. There's a hidden meaning about these merit badges. If the circumference of a merit badge has a green lining, it means that it's not required for the highest rank you can earn in scouting, which is known as Eagle Scout. If a merit badge that does have a silver lining, it means that it is required for the Eagle Scout rank. To get Eagle Scout, a scout must have at least 10 green of these merit badges and 12 of these silver merit badges. And that is what the circumferences of these merit badges mean. Like and subscribe!